Last week, we talked about KPIs, what they mean, why you need to track them, and how they are important to your business. And this week, I wanted to dive into that a little bit deeper, a little bit more. I wanted us to understand what numbers actually tell our story and what numbers we should be tracking that actually tell your business story and how you can use those to improve your business's story. So, what numbers are they that I want you to just take your first look at? Your revenue, your percentage of labor to your revenue. So, for example, if you're making $50,000 a month, how much of that $50,000 goes towards your labor, to what you are paying to actually get the job done? What percentage of that goes towards your profit after everything is paid out? What percentage do you have that goes towards marketing or other business investments or taking it for yourself or anything like that? So, the number, when we're looking at our labor, what does that mean? For a job that we're charging $100 for, how much of that $100 actually goes towards paying for the job to be done? How much of that actually goes back into the pocket of the company? How much of that actually goes into the marketing of the company? So, when we are going through our numbers, when we are looking at our numbers, this is a great start for us. And when I say revenue, I mean recurring business, numbers that happen every month. You've locked them in on contracts, what comes in every month. When we're speaking of your labor percentage of that, again, how much of that number that comes in every month are you spending directly on employees? And why do we need to know this? This is important. I redo my numbers every quarter. We go over, I look at how many contracts I have in, I look at what the revenue is, how much we're paying out in labor, how much we're profiting, what we have left over. And sometimes you'll be surprised to see that you'll have a contract that you thought was so profitable, but once you actually dive into the numbers, you'll see that, hey, I'm paying 80% towards this on my profit, or I'm losing on this. I'm actually paying everyone else to be there except for myself. I'm not making anything, or I am breaking even on this. This is why you need to see these numbers, because when you do, those numbers themselves have a story to tell. Out of $100, if you are paying $50 for your labor and $30 for your profit and $20 towards other things, that is a healthy, great business. Or if you see out of $100 that you're paying $90 towards your labor and maybe $5 in profit and $5 towards other things for the business, that is too much that you're spending on labor. And knowing these numbers will present their own problems and solutions. So if you see that you're spending more than, let's say, 70% on your labor, you can look at, well, what is causing that? Is it my pricing? Am I paying for too many hours for these jobs to be completed? Have I priced my prices too low in order for me to see a profit margin? These are the stories that these numbers will tell you. And when you are on top of that regularly, you will know what course of action to take to bring the numbers to where you need them to see, because the truth of the matter is the numbers don't lie. And this is why a lot of times as business owners, we tend to shy away from that. We don't want to look at that part. We don't want to do that part. But that is the hard part. That is the truth. Numbers don't lie. When you look in and you see how much are you bringing in per month, how much of that is going out towards bills, how much of that is going out towards administrative, how much is that is going out towards your profit. And admin is a big one that we don't add in. So when we're pricing a job, we'll say, hey, pay me $100. I'll pay my cleaner 70. The rest of that is for my pocket. No, that's actually not how that goes. And if we do our pricing like that, we will end up breaking even or paying out of our own jobs, of our own pockets, to get jobs completed. So what is admin fees? So admin fees are programs that you're paying for. Let's say if you use an email program that's costing, well, emails are free, but if you're using a project management tool that's costing money, or if you're using some other type of software that costs money, whatever booking software you're using, whatever tracking software you're using, whatever project management software you're using, anything that you're paying for that is not directly to your cleaners for their labor is administrative cost. And when you don't know what that number is or what that is monthly compared to your revenue, that can also be a kick in your butt, because when you look at your numbers and you'll say, hey, I make $50,000 a month. I'm spending 30,000 of that in labor. I should have $20,000 left over, but I don't. What's going on? That's because we're not adding in our administrative fees. We're not adding in our supplies, our things like that that actually cost us money, but we're not tracking. And when you're not tracking those, you won't know where your money is being lost. You won't know where your money is being gained, or you won't know where you can actually make improvements. How can you make the numbers better or get closer to what you envision? For commercial cleaning services, you want to pay out about 60% of your revenue towards profit. That's not an exact number, it's not an exact science, but about that. 60, 65 at the 70 would kind of be pushing it, because it doesn't leave you much space for marketing, for profit, for admin, and things like that. But 60% is a viable number where you can say, okay, out of $100, 60 of it goes to the cleaners, 15 of it goes to admin, 15 of it goes to XYZ, and then we've got 10% left for something else. But if you're not tracking those numbers, you won't even know that you need to do that. In tracking my own numbers, I'm learning that, I need to adjust my pricing. I need to adjust my labor time in order to see a higher profit with the same amount of money. And I would not have known that without looking at every number. What is my revenue? What am I paying out on that? What am I using in supplies? How much is that costing me for the cleaner? What did it cost me to acquire this lead? All of those numbers are important in going towards you improving your business, because that's what it's for. That's what the bottom line of this is. We want to take those numbers, track those numbers, and use that in order to manage and grow our businesses.